right, we're on. Do you guys friggin' hear us? Shay, give us a 1, 2, 3 or something in the chat if you can hear us. God damn it. We had like 7 friggin' viewers there. Oh, yes.
Can you hear us? Can somebody say anything? Our first one, no one could hear us.
This is horrible
We're restarting
podcasting
just for you
so
guys.
far,
This is the
if you
worst
guys are
podcast.
wondering.
We were going to have the best podcast for you guys, and now it's fucked. Oh, we're good to go.
We fumbled.
All right.
Shay.
We're good to go. Shay's just like being quiet now that he can hear us.
It's okay. Plus,
shut up, Shay.
Plus, there's a fucking delay.
harder.
We have to remember that. Yeah. So, if you guys didn't know, we were playing you our badass intro music before, and we thought that's why you couldn't hear us, because we weren't actually talking to you. Little do we know. Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, at least on take 2, we can get your goddamn ears in our laps. And,
We had almost 10 people, and now we're down to 2, man.
They'll come back. They'll come back.
Fucked us.
Yeah, that fucked something hard.
Damn it.
But what can you do? Liberal ass platforms, they're gonna fuck you one day.
I knew if I put Blackrock in the headline or in the
yeah, they'll hate you.
It's gonna get flagged. Right
None of that. So I was listening to the Donald Trump podcast on the Full Send platform today, and that was about 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. here. And by 6 o'clock, by the time it was done, you couldn't find it. You type it in, you couldn't find it on YouTube anymore.
What did he say in it?
He did say that it's probably going to get taken down, and he's like, I got a challenge for you boys. Keep it up. You're gonna get your careers jeopardized and stuff. I challenge you to keep up this interview, and it was done, like, taken off before I even listened to it.
That's crazy. And what platform was that?
YouTube.
Oh, it's YouTube.
YouTube. You can still find it on Spotify if you guys want to listen to Donald Trump talk for an hour straight, fully cohesive and really articulate. Spotify, type in Full Send podcast. It came out yesterday. It was on YouTube just earlier today, but they took it off. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Insane how fragile this platform really is. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. You're too cute.
You guys are slowly coming back.
Yeah. I'm sure they're all here. We just can't see them. We got
2 people.
We got to act like, we got 3 in the chat.
If you're back, fucking say something.
Right on. But yeah. The Donald Trump podcast. It was interesting. Basically, he just kept repeating himself, like, this would have never happened, never. And his hands did this the entire time. And it was a video podcast on the Full Send. The Nelk Boys, like, not too many people even know who they are. They're a prank channel. Canadian kids from Ontario, I believe, used to do pranks and stuff in stores.
Dana White always hangs out with them now.
Yeah, so Dana White's son was a big fan of theirs, and so he introduced them to him. He did an interview a couple months ago. It was actually really good too.
Sweet.
But now they have like an affiliation with the UFC. They're gonna sign a fighter to the Nelk fucking kind of I don't know, association.
Sign a fighter to the Nelk.
Yeah,
Boys?
well, a sponsorship. That's what I mean. They're gonna like sponsor an up and coming fighter kind of thing.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, so they got their fucking hands in the cookie jar kind of thing around UFC. But just to think that a world leader like that sat down and did an hour-long articulate podcast is unheard of. Honestly, no one else has done a long-form podcast, even though that's not very long. But
could you imagine Joe Biden talking?
Couldn't do a 5-minute interview, I bet.
Dude, he can barely
without stumbling
questions.
over his own tongue. Like, but Donald Trump seemed perfectly coherent.
They better find someone. They better find a better Democrat to go in the next election, because
that's just it.
Biden's
Tulsi
not gonna
Gabbard
beat Trump.
is amazing. She's a war veteran. She's a person of color. She's born and raised in Hawaii. Yeah, and she's a Democrat. That would be amazing. That Jocko Willink even endorses her, and he's like a hard-nosed fucking military. I want to say SEAL. Yeah, he's a SEAL.
Yeah, Jocko's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay.
But she ran and got beat out by Bernie and Biden on the last one, because you have to like face Democrats first, and then they pick one to go up against the Republican kind of thing.
Yeah,
in
that's
America.
right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's how Bernie got fucked over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's almost like you got to fight like the internal kind of stuff to get nominated as the Democratic representative.
Yeah.
But I don't see too many people enjoying the Biden administration. Hopefully we see someone new in the liberal thing for Canada too.
Well, we will, because I think they know Justin Trudeau's done at this
And
point.
he won 2 elections in a row. Like, there aren't term limits in Canada, I don't think.
That last win involved the NDP giving them
right
their votes, right?
And it wasn't majority either.
No,
wasn't. It was a minority vote.
Exactly. I think they know. And
yeah.
So right now, there's this guy Jean Chartier, I think that's how you say it, or Chartier. I can't.
They're all French, yeah.
All French,
there's Polivier, and then there's the Chartier, yeah.
So this Chartier guy, he just started getting promoted out of nowhere, and like if you look, like mainstream media is just like, this guy is the best. Oh, this is maybe this is the conservative that's going to show the world that conservatism is still good, and all this mainstream media attention for this guy. You don't see any of that for for Pierre there, right?
Yeah.
Polivier. And it's funny, and then you look into it, and it's like, oh well, fucking Chartier is part of the World Economic Forum, so.
Right, and a lot of them are too. Like I've and who knows how much of that you can really take to heart, because you see Andrew Scheer, even the Polivier guy, you see their names on the website of the WEF thing.
Is Pierre in there too?
I saw his name on the website, but then that could have been doctored and shown just as like a meme on an Instagram page kind of thing. Like, I've never researched the damn page myself. Honestly, it's a kind of a, it's kind of like I'm worried to look at it. I'm worried what you'll find if you research it in too much, because God damn it, that's scary stuff to think about.
So for those who don't know what the World Economic Forum is, it's like a group of like powerful people from all over the world that get together to discuss how they're going to deal with this normies. And it's under the guise of environmentalism and like, green energy, things like that, going green. Like, they talk about that stuff. That's what they say it's about, but then they also talk about hacking humans and like, making things easier for elites to run us.
And basically, you'll own nothing and be happy by 2030. And if you look into it, they're buying these elites. They're young global leaders is what they're trying to look into. And Klaus Schwab rules this. He says damn near 50% of the Canadian ruling thing, I want to say parliament or something,
50% of parliament
is indoctrinated through the WEF.
I believe it. And Justin Trudeau is actually currently in their new leader program, being told what to think and how to do things. And it's scary to think that there's a group that's like teaching leaders all around the world what to do. And so like, we got to not vote for these politicians. We got to keep this shit out of there, because as Alex said earlier, like they're quoted saying, you in 2030 you will own nothing and you'll be happy
about it, but they'll own everything and you'll be basically paying them rent.
Yeah. So like Klaus Schwab, he's the founder and chairman of the World Economic Forum. So he's in charge of all this shit. He has he has a right-hand man called Dr. Dr. Nia, I can't even remember his name, but he's like this German or Austrian fellow. He's got an accent, and he's talking about hacking humans and hacking and engineering human life, and talking about like playing God. He's like,
well,
no,
so
not
is
some.
Elon Musk with his Neuralink kind of thing.
Yeah, no, but this guy is talking about it in the sense where if you can hack human life, then the elites can do this with us, essentially. Like,
Wait, like a puppet?
essentially hacking human life to make. He said, when you go to the grocery store, what you think you want for dinner, who do you think you want to?
When you say do this, what do you mean?
I'm just getting to that. When he says, sorry, threw me up here. He says, all the free will that you think you have, like what you're going to eat for dinner and grab from the grocery store, who you're going to vote for. He literally says, I quote, "It's over. We found out how to hack humans, and
Right.
so and engineer human life. So they're eventually, in my opinion, he doesn't say exactly what they're going to do with that, but he does have some. You can tell the direction they're going with it. He talks
You
about how
you can anticipate, you can guess.
well,
Sure.
there's parts that I can't remember every word he said.
Right.
But if you were to hear, oh man, I'm telling you, it's bad. He wants to just control the human population.
Oh yeah, so does every single government official. The word government means to control.
Yeah, so they want to hack the human or the living and the unborn, right? So they want people born a certain. They want to genetically engineer us to have certain attributes, right?
Yeah, they have like the CRISPR thing going on right now. They're already doing a lot of that. What I don't understand is you mean they're going to hack your intuitions, your ambitions.
That as well. Yeah, that's
they're
when
going
it
to
comes
hack
to
like your what you like to eat kind of
yeah,
thing.
when it comes to the living, they found out how to control at least most people to a certain extent, and like you just by putting stuff on the news, they can get people.
Okay, yeah. Well, and China's doing the whole social credit system, which it's not hacking shit, but it's rewarding one thing and it's punishing another.
Yeah, and so when I talk about this, it's not like the World Economic Forum has like one goal in mind. They have a lot of goals, and this is just one of the things that they've talked about. Whether they've said it's their main goal or a goal, it's what they're talking about doing and the technology they're bragging about having. And he even says we shouldn't let a good crisis go to waste. He's talking about like
you hear that in almost everything crisis. What I'd say to that is it's already happening. Like there's nothing we have to look out for. It's already here among us. You just look around, people give you the weird eye when you don't wear a mask. That's kind of pushing you towards wearing a mask kind of thing, right? You already look at like drunks on the side of the road as a piece of shit, so that's kind of pushing society towards not being a drunk on the side of the road.
Yeah,
kind of thing, right?
Even just paying to have like multiple articles released on like heavily trusted media outlets saying like, like vaccinated people are bad, things like that. So now these or unvaccinated people are bad. So now there's like a view on unvaccinated people that they're dirty and like plagues, right? They're turning people against each other, and that's
the idea, to control through manipulation. But yeah, like Shay says, the masks are gone tomorrow. You better wear your mask today or else you're going to kill everyone, you piece of shit.
Yeah, their efficacy runs out.
Science doesn't change until midnight
tonight in BC. Yeah. Here in Alberta, actually, they don't work anymore. They work here until midnight, though.
I don't care if it's midnight in fucking Ontario right now. Science doesn't change until midnight BC time.
Hell yeah. But yeah, there's so much I could say about this World Economic Forum, and it's cool how they not cool. It's interesting to me, as scary as it all is. I love learning about it. And they've announced that they're working with Blackrock, which is like super scary and something that I wanted to talk about.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people realize like.
Right. So start at the beginning. What is Blackrock? What do they consider themselves?
They're an asset management company.
Asset management company. So they're kind of like a finance.
So honestly, they fuck with everything. They'll buy anything and everything essentially, and manage it. So like they will help your company out. They will buy stocks. They will buy shares in big companies.
Finance, yeah.
Yeah, they're acquiring things. They're helping people with businesses. Their business. They're managing assets, essentially. As simple as that sounds, it's a pretty good term for it. They're literally managing their own assets and assets they're getting paid to manage.
Right. Right. Okay. So they're gonna work for the World Economic Forum in managing their assets, being mainly real estate in the time being.
I think it goes beyond that, actually. I don't think they're working together in that sense. I think they're working together in the sense that BlackRock fucking owns everything,
Right.
and they're going to use those resources to impose their plans, their agenda. And
Those
so,
resources to kind of blackmail us into doing what they want.
yeah. And so,
because we want to use those resources that they own. We want to rent them, basically.
yeah. And so, like, there's some info here that I'd like to say, like, about the CEO, Larry Finks. That's his name. He used to own like a similar company called Blackstone with another guy, and they parted ways. And in 1988, Larry Finks started BlackRock, and
Right.
and within the same year, he created mortgage-backed securities.
Does this have anything to do with Blackwater?
Blackwater USA is a mercenary company.
Does it have anything to do with them? No,
no,
okay.
not that I know of, anyways. I'm sure in a roundabout way they're connected, but not that I know of. So mortgage-backed securities. That's like what they started doing was they started like taking all these debts and like loans, like credit card debt, like car loans, mortgages, and they started packaging them up and selling them to investors, essentially. So that's like a mortgage-backed security. And so that allowed the banks for the first time to like get into the housing market through that, like before they weren't able to. So through mortgage-backed securities. Hey Lenny, good to see you. Through mortgage-backed
Lenny made it back.
Yeah, through mortgage-backed securities, banks were able to get into the housing market and stuff and invest in housing. And so this actually led to the big crash that happened in 2008. Mortgage-backed securities are exactly the reason why that happened.
Right.
So Larry Finks, he is the guy who invented those, right? So in 2008, George Bush, without having anyone bid for the job or anything like that, he literally just in a back room one day appointed Larry Finks to deal with the bailout. How convenient.
2008, Obama was president, wasn't he?
No, it hadn't gotten over yet.
Oh, okay.
So Bush actually elected this guy to do it and appointed him to do it. And so BlackRock started in 88. In 2008, they already owned a fuckload of shit. Like probably like a couple, I bet you like $1 trillion or $2 trillion worth of assets by then. And they had their fingers into everything. So when Bush appointed this Larry Finks guy to deal with basically he had to deal with the bailout. He was the one that was like in charge of handing out the money to these corporations that needed bailing out. The problem is all these corporations he owned shares in. Some of them he was majority shareholders of,
right.
Like or BlackRock was the company he runs. So like it was a huge conflict of interest, and he became the linchpin of Wall Street. Right. So like essentially, like if you were if you wanted to get anything done, like you had to go through him, and he decided who got to stick around and who didn't, right? So like coming out of the crash, he was like the most powerful person, at least in the United States, essentially, like because his business flourished the whole time, essentially, right? And he only acquired more. During that time, the banks stopped giving out mortgages to normal people because there was a crash, right? The whole market goes down. There's a sale on housing. Well, guess who wants to buy that? The fucking banks and fucking companies like BlackRock. So the banks stopped giving out mortgages, like essentially to most people.
To most people, but that was also half the problem is they were giving out mortgages to people who could not afford them, and so they didn't pay them back.
Yeah,
and the national debt soars.
Absolutely. But like it was because of the way those loans were like passed around and handled that like caused the crash.
Back and
it wasn't
forth.
Just people not paying their mortgage that caused the crash.
Instead of me hounding you, we're going to give you to a debt collector,
I guess. Yeah. And so anyways, they like right before the crash happened, they stopped giving out mortgages. Even it's like they knew it was coming. And so anyways, during that time, BlackRock and the banks, they all started buying up all the fucking houses, right? Or as many as they could. And they still have been. You fast forward to 2020, a crash starts again because of COVID and the lockdowns and stuff like that. I think around in June or so. Sorry.
And we've never really recovered from the 2008 recession is what it was deemed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in 2020, there was a crash starting again. And Joe Biden is like, hey, Larry Finks, here's some bailout money to give to your companies again.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the last 2 years, this guy's been doing like, he's been in that position again. And now that we're like just getting out of this pandemic, like post pandemic, he is essentially one of the most powerful people, if not the most powerful person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of what his company owns. Now they're in charge of $9 trillion of assets. Sorry, they own $9 trillion in assets.
Yeah.
That's 10% of the fucking world.
Right. Well, apparently the most powerful people are Saudi sheiks that don't have to claim their income.
I've heard that.
Anything.
And those people have lots of money as well, like stacked up.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's different. And it's because this company owns so many other companies. And it's not about, okay, I'll explain this. It's going to take a little bit, but so BlackRock, they say they own at least 5% of every major corporation in the United States.
Right.
So that alone is like a big deal. Like if you look, some people, like when you look at like who holds shares in that company, some people might, like the highest shareholder might have 5%. So like that's big, right? That being said, they have this computer program called Aladdin. It's a computer network called Aladdin. Sorry, I just said that. It's 5,000 computers all over the world that are connected together. And any company, anything related to BlackRock, anything that they get their hands on, if you ask them to like if you ask them to manage your assets and your business, they get all your sensitive information. It doesn't matter if you're a central bank or like a random company, you have to give up all your sensitive information, all your critical data, so this program can work properly. Now, once it does, it essentially, like, I don't want to say it runs your company, but it gives you a list of possible outcomes, possible scenarios,
mm-hmm.
And these companies become reliant on it, especially when it comes to like trading and stuff like that. It's like it's the best program in the world that can like predict trades and stuff like that. And so you only get that if BlackRock's a part of your company, right? So BlackRock only needs to own a fraction of these companies, and then they get dependent on this piece of software. And now BlackRock has them by the balls, essentially. So BlackRock owns fucking everything. And like they own $9 trillion worth of stuff. They're in charge of over $20 trillion worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And every single company that they even have their fingers in a little bit, they fucking essentially run. Just because if they leave, they take that computer program with them, right?
Right. And the idea is, though, that not them, but just that the corporate elite owns absolutely everything in the end, and that everyone happily rents off of them. I don't get how it's happy. I feel like the happy part is just to like sugarcoat this message.
Yeah.
But it sounds intense. It sounds scary. But in the long run, like, housing's only going up, and for people that do own houses right now, that's only beneficial, other than the property taxes.
Oh yeah, but it goes beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like the housing market will only last like this for so long. Eventually, that'll crash too, and then they won't hand out mortgages, and these guys will buy even more houses. But
they don't have to hand out mortgages to people that already have their house. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's beneficial to people who have already bought into the house market.
Absolutely, yeah, fair enough. But when the crash comes, that's not beneficial, really.
No, because you have stock in a house, right?
Absolutely.
But your house is just a big pile of lumber and nails.
Mm-hmm.
So your stock is in lumber and nails and drywall and fixtures and stuff, and that's only going up and up and up.
Absolutely. And so, like, I guess this company owning so much, it goes beyond it affects everything. Like it affects the news stories we see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if any of you pay attention to who writes the news articles that you read from the local news stations and even CBC Global, it doesn't fucking matter. You look at who wrote the article, more often than not, the information either was taken from or it was written by the Canadian press. The Canadian press isn't a news outlet. They just give news
and the CBC and stuff. It's actually sponsored by the government.
But it all fits the narrative too. I was just looking today. They use the same fucking doctor like 30 times on every single Canadian news outlet. The same doctor, just because she has the right opinion, right? And
she toes the line and fills the narrative, right? Yeah.
And so you look into who owns the Canadian press. Well, there's a group called the Powerhouse Group of Canada, which is basically how Blackrock Canada does their bidding in Canada, essentially. And so the Powerhouse Group of Canada owns most of the Canadian press, and Blackrock owns some of that. And this other company called Vanguard, they're the second biggest asset managing company in the world.
Yeah.
They own a part of it too. And BlackRock owns 15% of Vanguard.
Right. The problem is this is all perfectly legal. As long as
that is a problem.
As long as you have the money, you it's perfectly well within your legal rights to buy as much of this as you want. And it's kind of like someone that's winning at the end of a Monopoly game. Like,
well, is
what are you going to do?
He just got put into a position where he could do that without any competition at all. It was just in a closed. It was behind closed doors.
Yeah,
it was by the way, and they didn't announce it. It's like, by the way, you're doing this, and he's deciding what companies that he's invested in, that he essentially owns.
Yeah,
he's going to give this money to, and they even made circular investments. So these companies that he's giving money to start buying shares in BlackRock. Like, it's completely illegal, completely conflict of interest.
Everyone's in bed with each other. Yeah.
And as you said, the problem is
it's perfectly legal. And a bigger problem than that is we are falling further and further dependent on these new technologies, be it Instagram, Facebook, people that need skip the dishes to eat because they don't like to cook. The more dependent on those things you are, the more it's going to suck if they want to cancel you. So to say, say you don't toe the line, you don't speak the right narrative on there. All of a sudden, all they have to do is say one word to their friend over at Facebook, and you're canceled. Like, you look at Donald Trump, he's not allowed on Twitter.
Yeah.
For years now, he's not allowed on Twitter, but he's trying to run as president, or he's not even allowed to say he's trying to run as president.
Yeah.
Because it's against the law to, there's some sort of national campaign law or something.
So one of the goals of the World Economic Forum is to have a digital ID that has all your information on it, everything that you use when you're online, and
just an electronic everything.
Yeah. And like, it tracks you, whatever. Like, we have a phone that tracks us. It's not.
Yeah. And that's another one. Like, what if they could just say, oh, well, how about we just disable your phone? Yeah. Everybody's bitching about gas prices right now. They're saying, oh, just go buy a Tesla. Well, literally all they have to do is talk Elon Musk into it, and they can turn your car off.
Yeah.
So you don't say the right thing on Facebook, and all of a sudden you can't start your car. You can't start your car. You can't go to work. You can't go to work. You can't eat.
So exactly. And so what I'm saying is the World Economic Forum, they want a digital ID that like tracks us all online and offline, kind of, right? It monitors our online activity, and it gives us like a social credit rating as well. They want to do it. China's
yeah.
And so they want to be,
a lot of people say it's already here.
It is already here, essentially.
And just instead of disallowing you from going to the grocery store and stuff, they're just going to smear your name.
Yeah. And I think I was just going to get at what you were kind of saying. They'll be able to cut you off from all technology just like
instantly.
That.
Yeah. Especially if you drive an electric car.
But it'll all be because of your personal ID that you'll need to sign into every little fucking thing that'll be attached to your ID. This ID isn't allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's already like they already froze the bank accounts of those. Anyone that supported a trucker, even with $20.
Yeah.
They froze your bank account. What does that mean? You can't buy bread. You have a fucking starving baby at home. You can't go buy formula or something like that.
Yeah. So like,
excuse me, but you drive a Tesla, they can shut it off. That's the scariest thing in the world. And it's all ranging from making this world digital.
So you take the World Economic Forum, they have the agenda, they have the fucking means because they work with BlackRock like side by side, and they have like you said, 50% of parliament here or something. Like they have politicians all over the world that are learning.
BlackRock and WEF aren't one thing. But
no, I'm talking about WEF, and I'm talking about how they're working with BlackRock, and then not BlackRock. WEF has all these world leaders that are with them, and dude, all that combined together is fucking scary.
It's scary. And the scariest thing is 5 years ago, if you would have said this, people would have laughed you into fucking seclusion.
And now,
and that was only 5 years ago. Now look, 5 years in the future, all our dystopian ideas could become reality if nobody stands up and says enough's enough.
Dude, even 2 years ago, people wouldn't have fucking listened to you about this shit.
Well, 2 years ago, people were asking for this stuff, right?
So by 2030, you will own nothing and you will be happy. What do you think the chances of that are?
Well, honestly, as long as people ask for it, they're really great. If people want to stand up and say no, but people don't even want to stand up and say no to a vaccine pass because they think they're helping progress. This is a progressive movement, right? And progress doesn't mean positive. It just means we're moving.
Yeah, you can tell that by the progressives.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, scary times to live in. Fuck, man,
It's a little odd.
Something I'm missing, but yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why notes help.
Oh, I have 5 pages of notes downstairs.
Right.
I just didn't. Most of them up here and came out already, actually. But yeah, there's so much more to learn about it. Every time I take even 5-10 minutes to look a little more into this, I find so much more. It's like a fucking rabbit hole, man.
It's a rabbit hole and it's scary. And honestly, I try to live. I try not to be pessimistic. I try to be optimistic, and that's why I won't go so far down the rabbit hole because you're just gonna ruin your day. And at the end of the day, what are we gonna pick up a gun and fight some guy in an Apache helicopter that's gonna like drop a nuke on us like a Game of Thrones style?
Oh, look, and see,
and we got our friend Davey
here. This is our Jamie. We got Jamie with my notes. See, I did have a notebook.
But anyways, yeah. So the damn world, yeah, we don't have Davey hooked up. But anyways,
you guys look good. You sound good.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyways, yeah, scary stuff.
Too, Oz.
It doesn't sound like the damn future is bright, but you know, it's always darkest before the dawn. So we'll see.
Andrew thinks I should be prime minister.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, you have ran a good campaign. So
who else y'all gonna vote for?
There we go. There's no one more.
Hey, you want your guns? I'll give you guns. You can have all the fucking guns, right?
But yeah, shout out Lonesome Lenny, shout out Andrew and Oz in the chat.
Who wants some fucking
You guys
freedom?
know Oz, yeah.
Yeah, shout out everybody that's actually watching.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So I saw Jussie Smollett is a convicted felon now.
Oh,
did you see this?
For making up a hate crime.
So he was convicted to 150 days of jail and 30 months of felony probation.
Wow.
And we got Dwayne. Okay, but yeah,
Hold that
means
thought, Lenny. We'll get back to it. Okay.
Yeah, that means there's literally he's a felon now. He lied.
The country.
Yeah, no, he lied about a goddamn hate crime.
Yeah, he said 3 white guys like beat him up and put a noose.
That was in 2019. It took 3 years to get to this judgment.
Dude, it seems like just yesterday. Holy shit.
I know, right?
Shit.
And everyone was rallying this justice for Jussie or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy's a literal felon. He was actually a criminal.
Did he just beat himself up? Like what actually?
No, he hired 2 guys to beat him up, and they didn't even. And then he like walked down the street with the noose still around his neck, like someone who really got beat up with and like tried to they take the noose off their damn neck.
Yeah. No, see, it's still on my neck. I didn't touch it.
Right. But the problem, he paid them with a check. Like these 2 giant black dudes, he paid them with a check that's fully traceable.
Oh, should he use crypto?
Yeah, and like texts and stuff between them and stuff that they can all find. Yeah.
Oh shit, should he use Telegram?
Yeah. So
or something like that. Yeah.
That was a big one in the news today. Not only that, the Ukraine biolab research facilities got admitted to.
Oh, they admitted that there
are US backed biological research facility. They didn't call them bioweapon labs.
So this is important because this is what Russia said that they were doing, and they said that this was happening, and United
That's the
States
reason that they were going in there.
didn't admit about, or they wouldn't admit it, and now they have. I didn't hear about this. That's epic.
Yeah.
Oh man, this whole thing's kind of crumbling.
It's crumbling, and it's just there's no such thing as a conspiracy theory anymore. Well, God damn it. They're endangered. Conspiracy theories are endangered.
What's going to happen now is like Vladimir Putin is going to take Kiev. He's going to take Kiev because he has to take something. You don't just do this all for nothing.
And turn around.
If he just turns around now, he'll look fucking stupid. He'll look weak. He has to take Kiev. Once he has Kiev, then he can negotiate. Mm-hmm. And what'll end up happening is he'll get to keep a certain amount of what he's taken, if not all of it.
Right.
He'll be like, this is what I'm taking, and then we're done. And it's smart because in the end, he's going to get what he wants, and there's not going to be World War III.
Well, the Russians have said they intercepted messages saying that Ukraine was planning on using biological weapons on them as soon as March 20th. And so they had to intervene, kind of thing. The U.S. was interviewed. The Secretary of State was asked, does the U.S. have involvement in bioweapon labs? And she said, well, there are biological research facilities that we're worried that the Russians are going to take over. And that was all secret until this came out.
And the Russians just want to destroy them, as far as I know.
Right. But the bigger problem is Ukraine is very, very poor. They're, and I don't see how they could fund these research things. So it's literally, it's actually U.S. funded.
And you know who gives out that funding?
That's speculation, but
no, that's not speculation. There's one person in charge of funding these places.
Who's this?
Anthony Fauci. He's in charge of giving funding
to
their
okay.
Research.
I thought you were going to say Biden, but okay.
No.
Because that was the Hunter Biden conspiracy that's what he had his toes dipped into the pool for.
Oh no, like Anthony Fauci is in charge of all the funding for all that research and stuff like that. Like
right, and the Wuhan lab and stuff. And these were literally pathogenic gain-of-function research labs in some of the poorest countries in the world.
So Fauci would know about that.
Right. And this is news to the American people. This was secretive kind of thing. And they were designed to defend against that. This is their proclamation. They're there to defend us against biological pathogenic attacks. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, sure.
That's one way to swing it.
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
They're not wrong.
A more pessimistic person could say, no, you're actually trying to develop a weapon yourself.
And that's just it, because it's a double-edged sword. You get both out of I don't know if you'd call it a double-edged sword, but like you get both things out of trying to make a weapon. You learn more about it too. So we do benefit from it. It's like, do you know how much technology we have today that we use every day that came from the military while they were making weapons? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like microwaves and shit like that, I believe. Like that's all military. Like it all started somewhere, and then now we
eventually
got cell phones.
Gets to people. Yeah.
Now we got cell phones. You think the military didn't create these communication devices beforehand? Like it's all like the idea for them. So like,
and they're around. There's a video I saw of Elon Musk with what looks like an iPhone back in the 90s, like a touchscreen iPhone. Yeah. And he has like sparse hair that was like going away. He had a McLaren.
And like we got the internet in what, like 97, 95 or something. The internet came out in like the 80s. They invented the internet in the 80s.
Yeah. No, that's the internet was basically just email back then. Like it was like a forum.
Shay, you're right. Military grade isn't what people think it is. Military grade is just like durable, but like the biggest pile of crap you've ever fucking used. And I'm not talking about military grade. I just mean military research, military study has like they've progressed technology more than arguably anyone. Like,
but no, people speculate Fauci is in witness relocation right now because no one's seen him.
What? Really?
No one's seen him for weeks. That's speculation, but again,
dude, motherfucker's hiding. He's just like, oh, the new Pfizer data came up. Oh shit.
Yeah, the Pfizer data came out. The basically just people aren't buying the shit anymore.
Yeah.
And now, like you see, Canada drops the mask, or Canada, BC drops the masks tomorrow. They dropped the Vax card on the 8th of April.
Yeah.
And like, where, how can you draw a line at midnight? Like, so the science is still solid until midnight, and then you can't kill people anymore.
Yeah. For anyone currently involved in an argument, at midnight, it's over. That's fucking.
Yeah. Like, and it's sad. And you're going to see people wear those masks for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hate them or anything. I'm not going to take their shit either.
They promoted it the whole time after she made those announcements. If you watched, like, she was asked questions after, and every single question, the answer was, well, the first thing you can do is get vaccinated.
Yeah. And the last thing you can do is get
vaccinated. Yeah. Do both. Do it first and last, and wear a mask in between.
Yeah.
They talked about every place that doesn't need a mask anymore still being mask friendly. Like, well, no shit.
Yeah.
Anyone has always been able to wear one of those masks if they really want to. Like, just
when I went through Southeast Asia, there, like, people wore a mask.
It's just funny because it's meant to protect others from yourself. So if you're afraid of getting it, wearing that fucking mask doesn't do anything.
Yeah. And honestly, it makes you touch your face more, for me at least. So it doesn't really help much.
Dude,
I wear a mask at work. It's because fucking breathing quality is low.
Yeah, you were wearing your respirator the other day.
Yeah, we're smashing up concrete and there's dust everywhere. I go blow my nose after work, fucking black shit. Yeah, that's not good for your sinuses.
And just think of how many COVIDs that could have been.
Yeah, 8 COVIDs. Goddamn, a day.
8 million COVIDs up in your sinuses, just fucking around.
Yeah, we don't need that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun. No masks as of tomorrow. Just go to the mall and watch people like look at you just weird. I did go to the mall like 2 months ago or something, and I walked into the food court, got my stuff. They served me just fine with no mask, and I walked out.
I was there with my dad the other day, and I was like, fuck this mask, just took it off.
Right.
I'm like, man, people are like, they're like wearing it till they sit down, then they sit down around a whole group of maskless people
and look at you weird without a mask.
Better put my face diaper on. And
don't you know that COVID travels 5 feet above ground?
And this lady that we knew happened to be getting food same place as us, and I asked her, she wasn't wearing a mask. I'm like, does no one bother you here? Because I've heard that security at the mall will like hassle you, right? So I only wear my mask where I have to. And she's like, no one bothers me wearing it here. I was like, oh, just take mine off right away. I was like, fuck, I don't care. Like, dude, old badass over here.
Basically.
No, I'm sick of it. You know, like anywhere I can get away with it, I will go maskless.
It's sad. The sadder part is the kids that were indoctrinated into it that aren't going to look at people the same that aren't wearing a mask.
Lenny was the only one wearing a mask in Walmart today.
Right on.
Well, you're probably the only one dressed properly in Walmart. People show up in their damn pajamas.
That's cool. Oh, and that's in Massachusetts. Right on.
So earlier, Lonesome Lenny asked, "Is there a way out of this digital mess?"
Is there a way out of a digital mess? EMP grenades.
Yeah, you detonate a nuke just above everything, and it just EMPs us.
Basically, if it's that easy to topple the entire system, like we're on thin ice. Because Russia really wants to attack us, and our entire infrastructure is reliant on a digital dollar and digital passes and stuff. It's very easy to get rid of the electrical grid. It's very easy to just like I said, an EMP detonation in a strategic area that comes through. Electricity is a luxury that we have grown too reliant on, kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's.
Well, I think the threat of EMP when we're all like so reliant on technology has always been like a threat we've always been aware of it. I'm pretty sure there's movies about it. Like you've always heard. Like,
and in the last episode, we were talking with Matt, just solar flares coming off that do happen once every so often. Act as an EMP and completely disrupt the electrical fields around us. So that's like It's not very smart to rely on, because I mean you want to increase energy consumption too. Like that's only going to cost more money.
And I think our first taste of the first time we learn this lesson is probably like when cell phones first came out, and you start putting people's phone numbers in. You stop remembering phone numbers, because before that we remembered phone numbers or wrote them down on a piece of paper that we kept somewhere safe. First time you ruin your phone and all your numbers are on it, it's like,
and digital fraud.
I relied on that phone and now it's fucked.
Yeah.
And
then a hacker just figures out your password, and boom, now they're entirely you.
Funny story. So for those who don't know, this actually happened to Alex. Not hacked, but Alex, someone stole his
identity fraud. Yeah. I went to go renew my insurance, and they said, "Oh, but you have to pay for these 2 other BMWs before you can pay for your truck." And I was like, "Oh, really? What BMWs are those?" kind of thing. And they're like, "Yeah." And I went and talked to the cops. I had tickets in my name because people got pulled over. They had an ID card with my information and their picture on it. So they got pulled over, and the cops just fucking ticketed them and sent them off just fine, thinking they were me.
That's crazy.
Insane stuff. Yeah. And I had to go through the goddamn ringer of calling TransUnion and Equifax and canceling like 16 different credit cards that were opened in my name.
And do you have any idea where they got that information from?
No, but I mean, like I said, you just buy something online and all of a sudden
off the wrong site, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And if they have your credit card information, they can like back engineer that stuff basically and get your SIN number and all that. They had everything of mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought that up is because I got a phone call yesterday, I think, from Telus. Very nice East Indian fellow. He wanted to give me a brand new iPhone.
Oh, that's a nice guy. Wow.
Yeah. Completely free. My phone bill would be exactly the same as it was. Nothing would change on my account at all. But he just really wanted to send me a brand new phone in 5 business days, and any phone I want. So I said, I want the new Samsung. Which one's that? He goes, oh, this one probably. And I'm like, what do you mean probably? Yeah. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one, sir. What color do you like? White, gold, or pink? And I was like, gold. And so anyways, we talked for a bit. And oh yeah, by the way, his phone number was 250-617 and then 4 other digits. But as you know, that's a local number.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yes, 617 is a local, as far as I know.
Yeah.
That, my whole life it's been like that. Anyways, so I'm like, I didn't know Telus had a call center like that where they like, do sales and shit, in Prince George. So anyways, I'm getting, I already kind of knew this was a scam. And he goes, I just need your last name, sir. I said, what do you need my last name for? Well, I have to confirm that it's you. I said, anyone can tell you my last name. He goes, well, I need your email address then. I said, okay, I'll give you my email address. I don't care if someone has my email address. So I gave it to him. And he's like, oh, okay, hold on. R. Oh, that was a D. Oh, a P. Okay. And so I could tell he's writing it down. I'm like, why are you writing this down? You should have this information in front of you. You're confirming it, asshole. And he's like, sir, do you want a new phone or not? And I said, you give me a number that I can call you back at, and I'll give you more information. He says, you can call me back at the number I called you from. I said, oh, is there a call center in my city? Do you know what city I'm in? He couldn't tell me. And so anyways, I said, you give me a number. We'll do this. And he's like, yes, 1 second, sir. And he hangs up on me. That was a little victory for me. I was like, yeah, fucking figured it out. And I kind of have to throw one of my friends under the bus here really quick. Shout out to Ruslo. About like 3 or 4 months ago, he's like, hey, man, I got a call from Telus today. They want to give me a new phone. And him and I got our plans at the same time. So I'm like, okay, I should be getting a call too. I'm like, that's not fair. I want a new fucking phone too. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting a new iPhone. I'm switching back to iPhone because they offered me a new one for free. And okay, cool. Keep going. Oh, so anyways, he never got that phone. I just reminded him today or yesterday. I said, "Hey man, remember that phone call? I got one too. Pretty sure it was a scam." And he's like, "Hey, yeah, come to think about it, I never did get that phone in the mail." I was like, "How much information did you give them?" He's like, "Oh, I don't even remember anymore." Dude, there's some guy probably has fucking 5 BMWs in his name, fucking riding around somewhere. And I know that guy. That guy gave him everything he asked for. Any bit, probably gave his social insurance number up, fucking everything. And it's been months. Sorry, Russell, if you're listening, I hope you are fucking looking into this. Fucking got to get on that shit. They got your shit. So anyways, that's my story about scammers. Alex is taking a little break there. How many people we got in the chat room right now? God damn. This is like one of our more popular podcasts. I'm glad it worked out. First one, YouTube fucked us over. We thought we lost all y'all, but you guys are back. Cheers to you guys. So for any of you who I told tonight who I how should I say this? For any of you who I talked to earlier and said the show was going to be awesome, is because I wanted to talk about that Blackrock stuff. And I kind of got it out of my system, but I know there's still some more, but we're kind of past it now. But there will be an episode on this page that comes out where I go through everything in detail. I bought a big ass fucking marker board to stick back here, and I'm going to be that crazy guy. Like, fucking, this leads to this and this and this. And
all right,
it's going to be dope.
I love that Garth without Wayne comment. Like,
you look like Garth without Wayne. Yeah. What's up, dude? Yeah.
That was the best. So
we're like Jair's herpes. We're here for life. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, at least we got Nate and Ryan back. I feel like it's been a while since we heard from them. I don't know if you guys are that deep into our backlog, but they did an interview with us a long time ago.
Yeah,
like one of our first episodes.
That was a good time. Excuse me.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, 52 minutes in.
The goddamn world falls apart, and we're here to just fill you in on it. Guys I work with don't know the first thing about any of this stuff, honestly.
Well, I don't think a lot of people do, which is one thing that motivates me to put this information out there. Like I know some of you guys are familiar with the World Economic Forum and some of the stuff they're into. I don't, but I think a lot of people don't understand how BlackRock fits into that and what
BlackRock's pretty low key. But I mean, the World Economic, even the Pfizer data coming out, like a lot of people that I work with don't even really know that Pfizer lost a lawsuit and had to put out 10K pages of adverse effects,
and they're behind,
and they're still looking to go get the third shot of that shit from at Costco.
Yeah,
you go to Costco to get it.
Well, actually, not just Costco. Oh, hey, funny story. We all know Kyle G. I think everyone in the comments probably knows Kyle G.
That'd be an interview.
Yep. Kyle G was actually over at my house 2 days ago.
Oh wow.
He was getting vaccinated just over there at the Tabor Plaza.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know they did that over there. So anyways, he asked if he could.
That's like 3 houses down the street.
Yeah. 3 houses away. So I'm like, hey, we'll come over after. Let's hang out. Right. So he goes, man, my first vaccination fucked me up bad. The second dose, I already know it's going to fucking hit me hard. And he's sitting on my couch. He got it done at 3:30.
He just needs to get fucked up.
He was complaining that his arms were numb, and he's just like moaning. He's like, don't get vaccinated. Just rolling around on my couch.
But why did he?
Because his job, he works for the Grand Trunk at the casino.
Oh.
So
and they required?
They required it. That's why he's just getting it now. You know,
crazy.
How many people do you think are just getting vaccinated? Like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do it just now.
He's finally. A cook.
He is.
He's a cook at a restaurant, and they're requiring his vaccination. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So,
I'm the only one of my job that isn't vaccinated, and it's not required at all. It's a little fucked up. But like I said, they don't do research. They just fucking fall in. one buddy's girlfriend is studying to become a doctor, and so he's just like, oh, like fucking follow the science.
Follow the science. Yeah. Follow the news is what it means. Yeah, so G's rolling around on my couch complaining he can't feel his arms, and how his one arm, like, it used to be so sore from where he got the injection. Now he can't feel anything. And then all of a sudden he's like, can't feel my legs. And he stopped moving. He just like passes out. And I'm like,
the Dumb and Dumber putting a fork in his lip. Oh no, that was Talladega Nights. Oh really? Oh really?
He just needs another vaccination. But yeah, he passed out for a while. And when he woke up, he was fine, but he was still like kind of in pain.
He passed out on
my couch.
On your couch in your living room?
Yeah. Dude, right in front of me.
That's fucked up.
He was like complaining about every symptom he had, telling me repeatedly, don't get vaccinated all fucking night. He's like, don't do it, man. I can't even explain what I'm feeling. It's so fucking bad. And I was like, God damn, I haven't followed up with him. I really should see how he's feeling.
Right.
But it really took it out of him, that's for sure. Lenny's saying, because remember, Lenny had COVID. Lenny 73 had COVID, got over it, but now his wife has it.
But he doesn't have it.
Well,
again, you don't have it a second time, I guess. Well, your natural immunity is probably much stronger from having it in the first place.
I hope she does okay there, Lenny. Fuck.
Yeah, that's scary shit. Especially like at your guys' age, that's nothing to fool around with. Fuck, I don't know what age your wife is. Cause see that bottle over there?
This bottle.
Yeah, but hey, you don't play with fire. Honestly, at my age, I could roll the dice a little.
Exactly.
But if I was 10 years older, I'd be concerned. If I was 20 years older, I'd be a little more concerned.
I'm not religious, but if anyone watching is religious, pray for
Lenny. Hashtag pray for Lenny.
Lenny's wife.
Lenny's wife. That's right.
Hashtag
Sorry.
Pray for Lenny's wife.
Lenny already made it through. He's a trooper.
Hell yeah. If you can make it through this podcast, you can make it through.
Yeah, if you can listen to us for 57 minutes, you got fucking sand, boy. She's having a tough time with COVID, and she's the same age as mine. Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's weird how subjective it is. It's almost like every goddamn other horrible disease that we could get. Like some people just breeze through it. Some people get flatlined.
It's so random, but the majority are over 60.
Right.
And obese or obese.
Yeah.
There are certain things.
Yeah.
Certain factors. That being said, when it comes to, like, man, my grandpa's 89, and he's like, it's just cold. It was just cold.
That's right. And your grandpa is like moving. That guy is up and at him for 89.
2 metal kneecaps.
And he'll show you some fucking porn on his computer if you're dumb enough to walk into his goddamn office.
Whenever I remember, I'd bring like Alex over,
man.
or like other friends,
and he lives with his daughter.
Yeah, he lived with my mom, and like I'd bring someone new over or just a friend, and because like we all know his tricks, like the family knows his tricks, so any friend that comes over randomly,
and I'm being nice,
hey,
like, oh, okay,
like,
maybe
come
I'll
in my
come.
Computer room. I'm like, he's gonna show him some weird shit again. Don't play
seriously
the penis song.
lewd fucking videos. Yeah,
Ryan saved him. Yeah, hey Ryan. Remind me what my grandpa was experiencing again when you told him that. My grandpa was experiencing something. I don't know if it was with his eye or something like that. And Ryan's like, yeah, I know someone who just got saved. They were about to have a stroke. They were feeling this stuff, and I went to the doctor and got saved. And sure enough, man, my grandpa went to the fucking doctor, and that's what was going on. And like, it saved his life. Like Ryan saved his life technically by like telling him about it.
Fuck yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, it was the eyes.
You're an honorary doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan's like, I've seen that in the eyes before.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Oh, my experience.
You gotta get to a doctor, Ace. And yeah, my grandpa went the next day. He's like, well, I heard about this. And they're like, actually, that's what's wrong. And yeah, good thing you
got it.
Yeah. Shout out Ryan for saving my grandpa. But yeah, I gave him COVID. So Ryan's done more for my grandpa than I have.
There you go.
I actually tried to kill my grandpa.
I feel like your grandpa's making it at least another 15 years.
Well, I don't know if his mind will, though. because he's got dementia.
Yeah,
right? He's got early stages of dementia, and
but I know fucking 70-year-olds that can't get up and walk half as much as him.
Yeah, the old folks home he lives at, like, because it's an old folks home where he can leave and come and go as he wants, right? And as long as he can get himself to the dinner table on his own every day, he can still live there. That's how it works, right? But he tells me the people that live there, they hardly leave, and if they leave, they don't leave without someone,
right?
And he says, like, they don't do anything, so they have nothing to talk about, whereas he goes places. And my grandpa, he's such a he's full of stories. He's a dirty old prick, but he's always got something to say. He'll always make you laugh. So he comes back and everyone's like, "What'd you do today, Dave?" And he's like, "Fuck, I'm their bloody entertainment over there." He says, like, if he's quiet, they're like, "Why are you so quiet?" I'm waiting for you guys to fucking say something. Like, set me up. Like, he knows his job there. Like, set him up. I'll knock him down.
Like my grandpa, he lived fucking rough and hard. He was a Navy sailor that drank and smoked, and he was pretty tall too. And big dogs don't last long, kind of thing.
Yeah, you and I, we ain't living. It doesn't matter if we lose weight. We're too tall.
But even by like, I think it was 78, he died. Fucking rowdy, fucking old man. He had that Arkansas accent that was like slow, drawn out kind of talking and shit. And he shook. His hand fucking shook like a motherfucker. Yeah.
70 is a good age. If I live to 70, that'll be twice as long as I've already lived right now my whole life. So I think that's a whole nother lifetime ahead of me if I make it to 70. I think that's good. I can call her quits after that.
Yeah, that's fucking plenty.
Fucking jump off something really high.
Yeah.
I'll be
by the time you're 70, though, medicine will be so far advanced that you'll get 30 more years of horrible, depressing fucking agony.
They'll keep your body animated as long as your fucking brain is still working.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
And then they'll put your brain in a jar. Yeah.
Be like Futurama. We'll be doing the podcast.
Yeah.
100 years from now. How many of you guys want to see us with our heads in a jar doing a podcast?
That's basically what this is.
While,
like,
while you're sitting on a fucking
there's no
shelf
fucking difference.
With your head in a fucking jar.
It's just two talking heads staring at a goddamn screen. We got 8 fucking people on here and only 5 likes. So I mean,
you guys got to smash that like button.
Rub your ass up against the goddamn subscribe button if you got a couple seconds.
If you haven't subscribed yet, get in on that. I just hit 50 subscribers again. One of you little fucking cunts. Fucking
unsubscribed.
I think it was Oz. I think it was one of your friends that came in to watch your interview.
Yeah.
And when they realized
like,
you weren't
these
on the
guys
show
are way
no more,
too white.
They're like, "Fuck these guys talking about the truckers.
They don't know nothing about halal."
So I was down to 49, and Nate. I think Nate's watching right now. Shout out Nate and his girlfriend Lauren. Lauren subscribed to me to give me 50 subscribers.
Oh, nice. So, okay.
Hell yeah.
Down in Vancouver there.
No, not that Nate. No.
Oh, other Nate.
Big Nate. Fucking.
Right.
If I go like this, I kind of look like
you. Oh yeah, fuck me. You had me fooled for a second there.
He's watching right now. He's like, "Fuck you, Jerry."
Yeah,
I'm way bigger than that.
You should have an interview with your dad one day.
Oh Jesus.
That'd be pretty interesting.
No, you should interview my dad.
Yeah, I will.
I'll just like sit in the other room.
There's a lot of questions for someone that was like around so long and did so much.
Dad, if you're watching, he's saying you're fucking old.
I don't think he's watching. Lenny, I was born in 1949, lived through the 50s, 60s, and
my black and white TV and 3 channels.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Lenny, did your dad make you get up to change the channels for him back in the day? Like, while you're all
damn it,
there,
boy, I'm tired of this.
Commercials on, go change it to this channel. Fuck channel 1, it's all about channel 3.
That's it. And did you grow up in Massachusetts, Lenny? Or where are you from? That'd be a nice one. We got to figure that out because I'd love interviewing Lenny one day. It's really odd to dive into people's pasts because, I mean, we can't even think back before the early 90s kind of thing, right?
Lenny's laughing. Lenny was the remote when we called him.
Damn it, boy. And he threw something at the back of your head.
But that's why they had so many kids. I think maybe Lenny told us before. He's got a lot of brothers and sisters, right? Like everybody did. My grandpa does. Fucking back then, huge families. So
Yeah.
Lenny's dad had like 10 remote controls for his TV.
Right. And then his grandparents' generation, they had so many kids because fucking kids died of the fever, they called it back then. Like you had 10 kids and you hope to make it out with 3.
Fair enough, yeah. And well, they worked the shit out of those kids too. They helped with the farming and all that stuff. It's like you had kids because you needed free labor.
Right. Right. Not only that, they had to stimulate the American economy.
Yeah, they needed kids to do that.
The Russians had fucking millions and millions of people, and America didn't have that many. They were killing each other.
Yeah.
Fall River, Massachusetts. I'm not too sure where that is, but that sounds cold as hell as well.
Still more south than here, but I guess they're closer to the coast.
There's a difference on the East Coast. It's so flat that it's real cold too.
Really?
Yeah.
Grandfather like there's 10 nothing. Children and 5 died. Wow.
Yeah. See, that's
what you're just talking about.
There was an insurance fucking policy.
That's why you had so many. Holy. Well, yeah. Quality of life is supposed.
Not only that, medicine was horrible. Life was hard as shit. And a lot of times you lived so far from a goddamn hospital that like if your kid got fucked up, you put them on your kitchen table and tried to do what you could do yourself before running them into the goddamn city.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you didn't take your car to a mechanic either. You just kind of fucking.
And there could have been like one rural doctor per county that you would like try to get to come over to your house, kind of thing. Yeah.
Like everybody probably fixed their own tractor, essentially. Yeah.
I'm sure you needed some sort of proficiency in mechanics. Yeah.
But you figured it out, man.
Figured what out?
Figured it out. The fucking engines and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part. I mean, certain issues, that thing's fucking sitting there in that field for the next 50 years. No one's moving it.
Right. But that's just why. And I think the interviews would be interesting as shit because our generation knows nothing but like hedonistic gimme kind of like we grew up with TV and a refrigerator. We take our refrigerator for granted.
Fucking refrigerator.
Right.
Yeah, all that Freon in there keeping things cold. We take a lot of shit for granted.
Right.
That's just
those stories need to live on through the YouTube pages, Lenny. That's what I'd look forward to.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good day when we get Lenny on here.
We got to schedule that. We got to actually make a Skype page of our own. Yeah. It might cost a little money or something, but it doesn't bother us too much.
Once we switch over to the official Crowded Room podcast page, then
there is an official page.
There is an official page.
And
if you haven't started following it yet, please do.
I think before we switch over to that, we'll come on to this and do like a quick 10-minute podcast and tell you, okay, we're going over there real quick so that you guys know that we're when and where we're going.
And like I send links out to every person except Lenny. Every person that's watching right now, I sent a link to.
Every person you have a phone number of, yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean, once we switch pages, they'll have the link to the new page anyways.
So. Right.
But yeah, that'd be cool. Do you have another beer there for me, or?
I'm all out.
You're all out.
That's all I brought too. I'm sorry.
Do we have any more whiskey? Do you drink all my whiskey?
I couldn't tell you. But I mean, there's more to life than drinking.
I know.
Right. Anyways, yeah. We're sitting at 8:40. You guys sat through an hour and 10 minutes here. Should we call this a day?
If you guys want to hear more, give us a shout out.
What do you got? Tell me a story.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Hey, just like that.
Fuck, Dwayne
this guy is.
Checking it out.
That was Dave. Yeah. Dave could be another interview one day.
Dave could also, with what he's done so far, just in this one podcast, he could.
How does he hear us that fast? I think he's got a bug.
He could be a Jamie.
He's got a bug in our room.
He could be our Jamie one day. But
oh well.
Also, Nate, Big Nate, he wants to be our Jamie kind of as well. He wants to like pull stuff up.
Big Nate?
Yeah, he wants to like pull stuff up for us like while we're...
This room is a little crowded for a third that just kind of sits off camera.
Especially like someone Nate's size. He's not the smallest person, you know. Like,
but no, that wouldn't be a bad idea because anytime we come up to a lull of where we're like, oh, I think or maybe then we could just be like, hey, Google this for us, so we don't have to stop talking to you and start Googling. That could be entertaining and insightful, but yeah, I don't know if all of our schedules could converge like that.
Absolutely.
All at once. The reason that this works so well is because we actually live like 2 blocks away from each other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
that works really well. It's like, ready? Yep. See you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be crowded. No. Yes, you're right.
It's supposed to be crowded.
Supposed to be crowded. If we stuff Nate in here with us, it will be crowded. And one day we're gonna interview that fucker too.
Nate, right.
He's gonna look like taller than both of us sitting behind us back there still. He's just like fucking.
And so you met him at the gym?
I actually met him a long time before that, but we never I just had him on Facebook, and we didn't talk. I just met him at a party one time, and then years later, fucking see him at the gym. And I think because we had each other on Facebook, we kind of recognize each other's faces. He's like, "Oh, Jared," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Nate."
Right on.
Started lifting heavy shit together, and now I like to go over to his place and have dinner with him and his girlfriend.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's lots of nice interviews we can go through. If you guys ever have suggestions, if you guys live in town here and you would like to be interviewed, please let us know, because we got nothing but opportunities.
You got something to say? I know 10 people who will fucking listen.
Right. We really have to look into how to do the Skype interview, because that opens up our opportunities insanely.
I can get that done. We just need that, like I always say, that third-party software.
And that might be a little much for a laptop, so we might want to do that one on the
if
computer.
Andrew would just fucking hang out with me. God damn it, Andrew. I keep inviting you over. You're supposed to help me out.
Right. It's all Andrew's fault.
It's all your fault, Andrew. I can't figure it out on my own. Actually, I can, and I will.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, that would open up our opportunities huge, because then you could potentially get like actual fucking learned doctors or something on the page that could show us where we're wrong and where we're right.
And I want to have some silly podcasts, just so you guys know. And so, we haven't really talked about this.
No.
I got
what's a silly podcast?
Dude, like we got to play some weird games on the podcast. Like
what?
I got in that drawer back there. I have like shot roulette, essentially. It's like the blackjack with the red and the white, or red and the black. You like $50 on red, and it spins around.
That's roulette.
Yeah, roulette, and you throw the thing on, and then there's a bunch of shot glasses all around.
Yeah,
so
roulette.
Yeah. So there's
that's sweet. Yeah.
And I got a couple things like that, just like some stupid drinking games.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like to watch people take shots and get drunk? Like we should do legit, one episode where we just get fucking hammered on live for everybody to watch.
I won $150 in South Korea on roulette. They gave me a voucher, and I had flipped it into $150.
Fuck yeah!
Just from doing it, because you can just bet red or black, odd or even. And they show you like what's been happening over the last like 20 rolls. So you're like, so there's been a lot of red. I think I'm gonna go black this time. And then you
changes the odds too when there's like 10 reds.
I don't know if it changes the odds, but it's just real obvious that like it's been heavily red. So I think we're gonna go black. But yeah, that Incheon Airport in Seoul, South Korea is fucking huge, and there's a goddamn casino in there. They gave me a $70 voucher, and I turned it into $150 just sitting there doing roulette. Yeah.
Our viewers fucking dropped by like 3 instantly.
Yeah. It's 9:00 on a Thursday night, dude. People got fucking places to be.
Hey, if you guys want to see us get fucking hammered on an episode, fucking say so.
Yeah, but that'll be a weekend episode, because this guy works.
Not tonight.
The morning.
It's gonna be planned out. But
we should do a morning radio episodes. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to
this is Morning Alien Conspiracy Podcast.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I don't think anyone would be watching it all. We'd love it.
Yeah.
And we'd be getting drunk at 8 in the morning.
I don't know if I'd love it though. It'd be fun the first time, and then after that, I just feel like my life is falling apart every day. Just get out of the podcast every morning hammered. What do I do now? Well, first I have to sleep off this alcohol.
Absolutely nothing.
Lenny says he'll drink to that. to us.
Hell yeah, Lenny. Thank you so much.
We will do a drinking podcast.
And we really appreciate your patronage, Lenny. You've been more than kind to us.
Party podcast. That's what it is. That's what it'll be, Dwayne. And you will be in on that one for sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And honestly, Dwayne's got a lot of stories to tell, and more than your lived experience, Dwayne. A lot of people just have not heard much of the Native American kind of experience. I guess you're a First Nation Canadian, not a Native American, but and I mean, it's very popular around here, this part of Canada, but when you go down into the States, it's not very common to meet Native Americans, and especially those of them that actually know like their heritage and like how their grandparents lived and stuff like that.
And it was different, like groups of natives down there as well, right? Like
there's tons of different groups.
There's tons of different ones, but like the ones we have up here are different than the ones that they had down there, right?
Right.
Like they weren't all exactly the same either.
Right. But I just think Dwayne would be a great person to sit in and not even talk about your life experience, but just your lived experience through your parents and your upbringing kind of thing. Yeah.
Just the stories that Dwayne would decide be okay telling would be awesome. But that guy, he's listening. You're listening right now, Dwayne. Dwayne can, if you know Dwayne, he's got some fucking stories that he won't say on here.
That's why I'm saying you don't have to talk about that. Yeah,
and knowing them, it's like we know Dwayne's got shit to say. Yeah, Dwayne, you're on our list. Fuck yeah, you've made the list.
But what I'm saying is to us, it's pretty common to have known a Native American person. A lot of people, that's not very common, especially the farther south you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
The more dense the population, like, right, they don't find their community. They're very communal, so they're going to stay in their community kind of thing, like especially a few generations ago.
Plus, even though Canada had like seems like a bigger residential school problem, the United States seemed to have assimilated them like earlier and faster than Canada did.
Yeah. Like I said, my friend Julian, his grandpa was born in the woods, and that was only 60 years ago, 70 years ago or something.
Exactly.
Like that's 300 years removed over on the East Coast.
The last residential school was closed in like what, 96 or something? Like that's
something very recent. Yeah.
Like within our lifetime.
Insanely recent. And that's very unique to our geographical location is what I'm getting at. Yeah. So that interview could be interesting as well. Plus, just let us know. I mean, I don't know if there's many ways of you guys to contact us outside of knowing our cell phone numbers.
If you guys comment on this video, not in the chat, but if you comment on the video, I get those messages directly. I think that's the best way for you to contact me.
Right. Because this is your personal page.
Yeah. So if you contact me on there, I mean, aside from Lenny, everyone else already knows. They got me on Facebook. So one day, Lenny, we will get this set up. It's really not that hard. I have Skype. I just have to add you.
Let's try to do that inside the next couple months here, though.
I'll add you right now, Lenny, so that way I can at least message you if you want to give me your
your
username. So
all right.
Yeah, we're coming to the end here. We'll just we'll play some music, some outro music, and I'll give Lenny some time to send me that information on this chat here.
We got flagged on our last thing because we played some actual music, copywritten music. We thought it didn't matter because we're not making money off of this. This is a passion project kind of thing.
Don't play other people's music on your live stream.
On your
live, doesn't matter if only 4 people watch, man. YouTube don't want that happening.
And so we were worried that's why the audio issues were going on earlier.
I was really worried about that.
We got flagged or something. But no, there's something odd. I don't know. We were trying to play you guys a song to start it off, and I had our microphones turned right off. And so when you said you couldn't hear us, I was like, yeah, you can't hear us on purpose.
Yeah, that was so funny when you guys were saying that. By the way, if any of you who were there for that are still on, while you guys were saying that, we had music on and our mics off. So we're like, yeah, no shit, you can't hear us. And then, so we turned them up to tell you that. And it took a while to realize that you guys actually couldn't hear us. So sorry about that. It made us look like fucking idiots. But is what it is.
Yeah. But anyways, we appreciate you guys keeping up on us kind of thing. I know we don't keep consistent as we should, but so far Thursdays at 7-ish, I really hope. I really want to do more than one. Otherwise we end up with only about 52 a year, and we need to get our goddamn teeth cut.
Yeah, we need more experience. And I feel, I don't know, maybe you guys notice it too. We're a little more smoother and just better at talking to each other on live, on a live internet broadcast than we were before. You know, I feel it. But it's like Alex says, actually, it's a muscle that you work, right? So maybe one day we'll be Joe Rogan's. Who knows?
If you look at the early Joe Rogans, they're hard to listen to. It's just a bunch of shitheads fucking drinking in the goddamn living room.
Pretty much. It's not far off from what we're doing now. Yeah, except he was like a celebrity.
He has connections and money and stuff, and he lives in LA, so everyone cool fucking can come right on.
And he had a Fleshlight sponsor.
That's true. We don't have one sponsor. We should
look
out for sponsors.
Send me a fucking Fleshlight.
Yeah. But I mean, this is where it starts, and we couldn't do it without you guys. We really appreciate it.
It's really hard to do this when there's a fucking zero right there. When it says 0 people watching, and we've been talking,
but you just got to remember, people are going to watch in the future, so there's no reason to sit here and go,
absolutely. But I'm just adding to your point how much I appreciate that. Like it means so much to see even just 5 people, you know, even if they're just a couple. Like it's awesome to see you guys, and especially in the comments. I'll never get over that. Love seeing you guys talk in the comments, even conversing with each other. I'm glad we've created this little group here.
We got 5 people. It says 5 people listening right now. If each of you would just tell one person, there's 10 people. And then the next thing, those 10 people tell one person, there's 20. Well, and it takes off virally like that kind of thing.
I shared it on Facebook that one time, and look what happened. Imagine if all of them shared it on their Facebook like that.
Yeah,
we might have 20 people.
Maybe we should all kind of share it. I don't like the idea of patronizing views kind of thing. Like people just like, oh, good job. Like my family or something watching me just because they like me.
Yeah.
Like I want people that watch because they're actually entertained by what we're doing.
For sure. But I think that's what's more important about them sharing it instead of us sharing it.
Yeah.
So like these are people who actually enjoy, at least I think you guys enjoy it. I can only assume you guys enjoy our podcast. And they're sharing it because they like it. And so that goes a long way, right?
I get it. And yeah, Andrew, I hear you. Just have fun. But like I said, if each of you just told one person, you don't have to share it, but if you just told one person about us, then obviously it doubles every goddamn time. And that's your duty as our fucking compatriots. Thank you very much.
Andrew, fights are on early Saturday. Let's fucking do this. Come over Saturday. Let's fucking chill. Let's go over some music. Let's maybe fucking figure some shit out. And then let's watch the fights. Teach me your ways with the streams. Andrew. I think this is the end of this podcast.
Thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait.
I really appreciate you. I know we were a little technically difficult at the beginning of this, but I think we figured it out.
Call me that my whole life, technically difficult.
And I am Alex. This is Jerry. You've been listening to the Crowded Room Podcast.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Switchblade to a single midnight. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Those guys won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenaded in the moonlight. I look to the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes really go running high that we don't wanna lie when the union arises. Street light shining, know my time's arriving. Out when it starts cause we midnight vibing. Midnight driving, cruising by flying. Living so fast, never think about dying. What's up in the dark, and we hang out with the Batman. laying scars on my knuckles cause we fucking with the wolf gang. Switchblade shining, not bright, winding stars in my eyes when the moonlight shines in. Murder rap on my first track, killing shit cause I've been begging suicide on the second. I don't care, just accept it. Knife swipe, make it doom. Switchblade coming soon, chill satisfied when we hide up to the fucking moon. Still shine bright, fast spot, make it eyes one, shut down, slice with the right sword. Blood on my fist, knife dance on my wrist, moonshine of the blade, just cruising through the mist. It'll be the midnight. Think twice about the motherfucking quick knife. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenaded in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes better go running high. Let me know when alive when the union arrives. And it'll be the midnight. Think twice about the motherfucking quick knife. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenaded in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes better go running high. Let me know when alive when the union arrives. And it'll be the midnight. Think twice about the motherfucking quick knife. Switchblade suicide with the wrist slice. Closed eyes won't rise when the sun's bright. Switchblade serenaded in the moonlight. Hopping through the fucking sky cause the moon bright. You know they say when the stars in my eyes better go running high. Let me know when alive when the union arrives.